Hey guys, what's up? It's Jamie Cote live from Nelson, BC this morning. Today I'm hanging out with a good friend, Deb Fuhr. We've actually known each other for about, I don't know, about 6 months, Deb, I'd say, something like that.
6 months, 600 years.
There you go, yeah. We actually met on social media, which is amazing. I love Facebook. We reached out to each other and started chatting when I was out in Edmonton. And yeah, I knew that we were gonna meet when I finally said, yeah, when I get to Nelson, we'll meet up. And we did. And it was great. We just like connected really quickly. It's like one of those things, like you said, it's like we knew each other forever. So I just wanted to have a little chat with her this morning and see like where she's been. And like, she's got a pretty awesome story. So yeah, Deb.
How do you know I have an awesome story?
Well, I mean, from what I know of you, I can only assume.
All right.
I heard your story a little bit. But yeah, give us a little rundown, a little bit about yourself.
A little rundown. Well, when I was born in Kimberley. The cool thing to know is I'm a Nelsonite since I was 5. I have an uncle who's 93, 94, and a father who's 85. We're both born in Nelson. So sometimes when I go to meet new people in groups, they've only been living here for 6 months, 1 month, 10 years. That's you, 10 years?
Yeah, I think I'm about 10 years. I can't call myself local yet, but I say I'm from Nelson when other people ask.
I don't know. That sounds pretty local.
Nice.
But, here I am with 50 odd years here. And my uncle and my dad, both born in Nelson. You know where High Street Place condos are?
Yeah.
Used to be an old hospital there. They were born there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It always amazes me when I meet people that have been here forever and grew up here. It's like, and then it also amazes me when I meet people that I don't know here. In a town of 10,000 people, I just feel like I should know more people, but I didn't know you.
Yeah, and the people you know, I have no idea. And I've met so many people in the last 3 years. I used to work at Cote Insurance, and I met tons of people every day there. That was my career, about 39 years of it. Thought that, once I left there, that meeting new people would be hard. And it wasn't, because I joined 2 groups in the tech community and the entrepreneur community. And there's a lot of new people coming to Nelson. And so when they say, well, how long have you been here? And they think I'm going to say 5, 20, whatever. And then I say, been here since I was 5. So that's like 56 years. So
wow.
They go like, yeah, that's what they do. I've never met someone that's lived here that long. But there is a lot of us,
totally,
and still evolving in the community as it's growing.
One thing I wanted to touch on, since you have been here for such a long time, is like the industries in Nelson that this place has been thriving on has changed a lot, from like the logging industry from back in the day to like tourism to now like the tech community. Like, can you touch a little bit on that stuff? Because I know nothing about that. I just found out recently when we met our friend Ian there about how large the tech community is here. And you were talking to me about it. But it's like, to those of you watching, like, they always ask me, what's the main industry in Nelson? And I think it's changed. What is it?
Well, excuse me. The industry when I was growing up was KFP. We lived in Fairview. And I remember leaving home.
And what was that with KFP?
KFP, Kootenai Forest Products.
Okay.
So it's a lumber yard.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce used to work there after I met him. But when we were kids, I lived a block from Hume School, and you'd come home for lunch, run home, your lunch would be ready for you. And during spring and fall, you would eat outside and have lunch. And I remember we always had to put something over our milk glass so that we didn't drink the ashes that fell down onto the milk. That was I bet you lots of people can resonate with that. But today I ran into when I left insurance about 3.5 years ago, I ended up running into Jamie Rennie and talking to her and how she was trying to get her feet wet in the community because she owned Dancing Bear at the time and wanted to maybe get involved with the Chamber of Commerce, meet new people. So we were chatting back and forth. I said, well, I know lots of people that you might want to meet downtown. And she introduced me to Rose Hoare I probably said that wrong, her and I created a great relationship very quickly, similar to you and I. And she was the thread to my enjoyment in the tech community. Invited me to monthly meetings, said that I owned a computer, I was welcome to come. So I ended up just helping her in the background, coming to events, helping her set up a little bit or greet people if she couldn't greet people because she was talking to others. And she was absolutely the thread to the community, the tech community, and helped the tech community grow and gave them the avenue to get out and greet each other every month. So when I came first on the private Facebook group was about a couple of hundred or so. And when just recently, it's probably grown. I haven't paid attention since COVID as much, and we haven't been able to get together and new people are involved. And there's probably 800 to 1,000 people in that group. But every day, every time I went, there was new people who inspired me, just like the Smart One technology of the vending machines. There's tons of stuff like that going throughout the Kootenays and Trail and Castlegar. So it's pretty exciting. I would say that's a really cool niche for Nelson right now.
Nice. Yeah. So that's the thing about the tech industry and working with your computer is you can literally live anywhere and do your job. And that was the one most important thing for me when I left my industry was to find a business that I could grow online. It was so important. And that it was somewhat recession proof, which to me just means something that people are going to utilize and use no matter what the economy is like. So what you said that you were in insurance, what made you do the switch, or what's brought you to where you are today? Why have you changed your industries a little bit?
Well, it started, a couple things started at once. One major thing happened was that Bruce worked for the Nelson Daily, and Nelson Daily News, a paper in town at the time. And it was the oldest paper, and you lived in that kind of security bubble that would always be your job. And he was about 54. And rightfully so. They had every right to do whatever they wanted. They owned the business, but they shut her down. And we were just reeling from that because we had just bought a piece of property. We just started building. We had one coming out of college, one going into college. And so I watched Bruce redefine his career from a journalism into a laborer, first aid, to a bus driver, to a bylaw officer, to doing all these things. And what it made me understand was that we weren't in control of our destiny, and things do change. That was the one cool thing is I learned lots from that experience. That somebody said something changes every 30 days, but I found as I went along with that idea, but I found that it was changing weekly for the viewers. And then I realized changes every second of every day, and learning how to embrace that change is the cool thing. So not being in control of that situation and having someone else in control of my destiny, so to speak, having everything shut down and your livelihood stopped, made me start to think that I'd want to be an entrepreneur. So I jumped in when a couple of friends approached me, and I said, yeah, I want to participate. So I did that along with my insurance. And Bruce started the NelsonDaily.com as well. And so I helped him run that, and then decided insurance for me, after so long, is a fear-based industry. And yes, we need it, and I understand it, and I love the people that I was with, but and met every day, all these entrepreneurs that I met for a good 15 years being in the commercial end of things. They really, really, really spoke to me of not having a safety net and the sparkle in their eyes every time I spoke to them, and the excitement they had to do something new. So I wanted a piece of that action, the control a little bit, and living on the edge and experiencing life.
Nice. I know the whole entrepreneurship idea. I know when I was younger, I kind of always had an idea or always thought about it, but never thought it was a real thing. And it wasn't until about the last 10 years when me and my best friend, we'd drive from here every single week to drive to Calgary and then fly up to Fort McMurray and then work there and just kill ourselves all the time. And on those 7-hour drives, you bet we were always scheming about what we could do next. We were going to open a great Canadian oil change. We were going to buy a McDonald's franchise. We were going to do any of these things and then start looking into franchising and stuff. It was like so expensive. And then you start reading the stats on it, and that these companies usually like fail within their first year, and they're just working so long just to pay off the big corporation that's handing out these franchises.
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy to see that, and just always want to figure something about, but not know quite what to do. So how, like you said, you found your industry through some friends. What industry are you in right now?
Network marketing, health products and stuff. I'm pretty pumped about being able to pay it forward in a preventative way. And part of that's the other tiny little story. Jamie's like, how long can you talk? How many stories do you have? But Bruce's mom and dad passed away already in his life, and we helped them through their 70s and into their 80s, and watched them go into the hospital for 21st century diseases, and I saw a lot of people in the hospital while they were there that were in similar circumstances, and I thought, this can't be what it is for us in our 70s and 80s. I need to do something about that, and it just was percolating all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had already been seeing a naturopath by that time, Brenda Gill. I bet you lots of people in Nelson remember Brenda Gill. She had a thriving practice in Roslyn and spent 2 days here. And she had a pretty good practice in Nelson. She has since retired. So just being preventative and not reactionary is my goal. I feel hospitals have their place, doctors too, everybody, everything is valuable, but we live in a reactionary time, and I'd like the hospitals not to be so full. And here we are right in a pandemic of mind-blowing, I don't know, so many weird avenues it takes. So to be preventative is very key right now. Super key.
And what, like, the thing that I've realized is, like, what age should we start being preventative? Should we wait until we're 60 years old? Or, like, it blows my mind how, like, my demographic, like my friends, maybe just now are starting to think that way. And that's into our 40s. And it's like, in my 30s, I wish I would have started thinking about this, right? In my 20s, you know, like, if we could like start being healthy and thinking about being health conscious when we're in our 20s, then we're going to make it to that. People are saying that our bodies are supposed to make it till 120. It's like, when I was 20, I was thinking I'll be lucky if I make it to 60. Like, it's that crazy. So it's like,
why did you think that? Why did you think that you'd be lucky to make it to your 60s?
Just because I realized how hard I was being on myself. Like, for one, partying and drinking all the time. It's funny how when you're young, you realize really quickly that it's hard on your body, but you just keep going, you go through it. And it's another one of those things where you think that this is what life's supposed to be. It's like, people drink, people party, you go to work, work's supposed to suck. That was one thing for sure. After work, what do? You let loose and you drink and you party. That was life to me. And I don't even know where that actually came from, because my parents weren't big drinkers at all. So I have no idea where that idea came from. But it wasn't until I started moving forward. It wasn't until actually I moved to Australia, and I became involved in a network marketing company there for a little while and made some of the greatest friendships ever. And I remember me and a friend that went traveling there, our first night, we got introduced to the company. We were super excited. We were going to be those guys on the streets asking for people's credit cards for charities. It was amazing. Probably the hardest job of my life. But we were so excited about the opportunity that we couldn't even sleep that night. We were so excited. And I never, ever, ever, ever felt that way about a job before in my life. And I realized that it was because it wasn't a job. It was because someone had offered me an opportunity, and I was dreaming about what I could do with this. And it took me, that was in 2005. So that took me 15 years to figure out that feeling was what I really wanted. And I had to go through 15 years of not doing it until now, and coming back and finding a group like you ladies that I get to work with every day that are amazing and super fun to be around. But it's just like having that passion, that desire around something. Like, it's got to be something. And I think that's the big thing I want to talk to people about. And when I talk to you, or when I talk to anyone, I just want to like figure out what that passion is and where it came from
Yeah.
and how we can like help other people just think about it. It doesn't have to be network marketing. It doesn't have to be anything even about work. Just find something that you want to live for and be happy to wake up for in the morning.
Yeah. You know what? It made me think of when I started my career at BCAA in the late 70s. And I remember we had moved the office. I helped move the office from, I think maybe where Mallard's is now. Funny how memory goes. And we moved it to the corner where it is currently. And it used to be the Toronto Dominion building. So I would have been 19, 20 when I started that career. And we partied every payday for sure, and maybe every Friday in between. And we'd go to Kips. Me, I partied. I don't party anymore. It doesn't mean I didn't party. There's hope. There's hope. So anyway, we partied all the time at Kips, had these shrimp baskets or something we'd buy, and we'd stay till, and some of us would be hung over the next day at work because we had to work on a rotation on Saturdays and stuff. But I remember it was so cold one day and it was snowing, and we parked our vehicles behind BCAA. And I went, what I need is a clicker to turn on the car, a remote at something. And I thought that would be a great idea. They weren't even around then, but it got me really, really pumped. And it was just from sheer wanting to be warm. Mm-hmm. I want something to start my car before I get out. But I have no one to tell. There was no tech community to tell that to. And I was excited. And somebody just mentioned it the other night on a call that I was on a Zoom, and they said, I was so grateful for the remote to start my car because it's been snowing and it's minus whatever somewhere. And I was like, holy.
That was your idea. Somebody took your idea and made it huge.
Well, and that's what you're talking about, the spark of whatever you have to engage. And here we are online all the time now because of COVID. Start something, go for it.
Exactly. The thing that I hear a lot of people, especially there's that some show came out on Netflix about social media stuff, and like everybody was like, I wouldn't say scared of it. They just didn't realize how much social media was like marketing to them and stuff like that. And to me, since COVID, I have like found a new reason to use social media, and it's actually to use it what it's meant for, and that's connecting with people. And it's like the amount of people I've connected with in the last 6 months, new friends and old friends. And the fact that it's like I have a reason to be on it, and it's like it's not just to swipe through and scroll and buy things or whatever. I mean, we all have the choice of who we want to see, what kind of things come on our feed and stuff. And it's like it's a super amazing tool. And like I said, if it wasn't for Facebook, like we would have never met ever. Like how would our paths crossed in Nelson? You know what I mean?
I'd probably have to ride a bike or something up in the bush.
Yeah, I would have came across you and crashed in the trail somewhere and had to do some work on you. But so I mean, I'm just like I'm grateful every day for the technology that we have, and it's like I really want to learn to like embrace what we have and not be scared of it, because the only way to make this a good tool is to teach others like how to use it properly. I'm not saying that's me, but like there's a big push on like kids using it and stuff like that. And that's the thing. It's up to parents to control that stuff. And it's like I couldn't even imagine being a parent in this day. Like, you know what I mean? Like I see my nieces and stuff, they get a little crazy sometimes, and it's like you give them the iPad or you give them whatever and they relax. I mean, like, and that's been going on since the dawn of technology, right? Since the dawn of anything, as soon as they can make a little rattler for babies to like, look at something else for a while, right? Or a TV or something. So it's a very interesting time, but it's a time where we can connect with so many people around the world and really find our tribe. I think that word used to scare me. I used to think it was some hippie kind of thing, but now I understand what it means. There's family and then there's tribe. So
I never did. I haven't been able to embrace tribe. I keep thinking, what the heck is tribe? Even though everybody says I'm in one or two. Yeah. I'm like, tribe? What do you mean tribe?
So what is tribe? When you hear the word tribe, what does it mean to you?
I honestly don't know. Tribe. That's a good question. It brings up weird stuff.
So to me, what I've defined tribe for myself is like a group of like your avatars, your like-minded people where you're all connected, and it's not obviously through family. It's family you don't choose. They're your family. Tribe, you go and you find and you choose. You know what I mean? It'd be tribe would almost be like your friends group, but more so than because sometimes you have friends that are like, oh, wanting to do different things, right? A tribe is more of like
Like-minded.
community of like-minded people that have the same goal and are like working towards it. That's what I'd say a tribe is.
I would say 2 years ago, the word tribe really wasn't there, but it's really there now. I hear it tons now.
Yeah. And that's when I was in Nelson or in Mexico. That's when I started hearing it. And and I heard tribe and the word coach together, and it took me a long time to get comfortable with the coaching idea, to the point where that's where I see my life headed in the next couple of years, is down the coaching route. And I was just like, when I heard the word tribe and coach, I just figured they were some rich kids that had a bunch of money that wanted to come and use these terms and just say that they were doing something. Like that's literally what I thought. And that's the greatest thing about like once we have these breakthroughs and see an idea in a different light, now it's our turn to try and educate other people, or actually just bring it to light, right? I mean, everyone's going to have their own opinions, and some people do not want to change, and that is totally fine for them. But there's a lot of open-minded people out there that just have certain ideas in their head, and they just don't know the real answer. So it's fun to have these conversations and see what other people think. Even like you, I did not know that you did not know what the word tribe meant, or were against it, or didn't think
I'm not against it. I was just kind of confused. Tribe. What is a tribe? I would say that it probably resonates with Indigenous somehow for me. Tribe, and that's probably a totally inaccurate concept.
No, I think that's where it came from.
Maybe. I don't know. And they were right. They're like-minded. I don't know.
Totally. They were all working together for one common goal to survive.
Yeah.
Right? Like
to live on the earth.
Yeah.
One with earth. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. We could talk forever.
Yeah. No, we definitely
That's what we figured out. Well, I wouldn't mind doing this again. Do you want to do it again?
Yeah, I think we should. What I want you to do, since you work for a health and wellness company, I want you to say, is there one product that you deal with that you haven't found anywhere else, that if someone was to ask you, Deb, I want the one thing that's going to help me, what would you give them in this time, and why?
One thing.
Just one. You only get one. Yeah.
That's a hard one because I know lots. So I guess the easiest thing for me to say would be the water bottle.
Yeah.
It's a filtered water bottle. Self-filtered. I can take it anywhere and drink it anywhere. Bruce and I, Jessica and Sarah, took it to Europe and drank any kind of water that we wanted out of the airports, in Pompeii, out of the ancient wells, and had clean drinking water. Plus, we saved 450 water bottles each out of the filter, and $2,000 roughly.
Yeah, water's more expensive than beer out there.
Yeah, it's in the airports it's expensive, but also in Canada, not necessarily is our water as pristine coming into our house as we feel. Bruce ended up, if anyone's listening and they come across this, they'll know Bruce, and he at one time was very sick with a parasite, and it was from drinking local water in the area. Not it was on the East Shore, I believe. Not that that's a bad place. It could happen anywhere. What's the little critter? Squirrel and deer and people, play in the creeks, and you drink the water, and sometimes we're accustomed to doing that if you're a hunter and stuff. So any backpacking or anything that you do, you just dip this in there, and it gets rid of all the contaminants. And I'm very, very happy to have this with me every day and use it all day long.
Yeah. You gave me mine as a gift. I love it. I use it every day. It's the only thing that's made me drink water every single day of my life now. There's times I go for days without drinking water. A big thing is if there's any tree planters watching this right now, I know I had a friend and her whole camp got so sick because a critter got in the well and died. And they when you're tree planting, you're in the middle of nowhere. So imagine just having this water bottle, and any water you have, you just put in here. It takes out everything that's bad and leaves in all the good minerals. So it's like it's just insurance. And like, there's no reason for me not to fill it up in the tap anymore. So that's interesting. I actually didn't think that you were going to mention the water bottle, because you have so many products and they do so many good things.
I know.
The one thing I will always remember and thank you for, no matter what happens, is giving me the Limu with the fucoidin in it. If anybody doesn't know what fucoidin is, do some Google research yourself. It's an amazing product, and it's a sleep aid. If nothing else, there's so many good things about it, but just helping people sleep naturally is probably one of the biggest gifts you can ever give someone. So
yeah, true.
Awesome.
Clean water, good sleep, fresh air. So
Totally.
You want to do this again?
Yes, we're definitely going to do this again.
Okay.
This is great.
And we'll do it in the morning sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So thanks everybody for listening. I know we had a few people on here. We've been ranting for about 25 minutes.
I see that.
Get off this. But okay, Deb, I'll talk to you later.
Have a great day, you guys.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye.